us a year ago or last August when we were living in the United States, what is Mexican food? I think we might have said...
Good afternoon, amigos, from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We are finally back in the good old state of Jalisco. Today feels real good. Today we're going to start off by giving you some beautiful shots of the beach and the surrounding areas here in Vallarta, and then we are going to talk about 3 to 5 things that we have learned about Mexico since moving here a little over a year ago. Vámonos. Amigos, we have made it home. If you're new around here, I'm Greg.
I'm Hillary.
We live here in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We make daily videos of our life here in Mexico, mostly in English, a few days a week in Spanish. Also, so if you like Mexico, if you like traveling, or if you like watching two gringos make mistakes in Mexico, consider subscribing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we knew about Mexico before coming here, and then Hillary La Huerta is going to talk about what we learned in the last year. I think before coming to Mexico, before coming to Vallarta was the first place either of us ever came in Mexico. I would say our knowledge about Mexico was like slim to none. I think the only things we really knew were just like based from what we saw in the news or what we saw in movies, and that's really about it. I mean, we knew like Cinco de Mayo, that was like a holiday. I know it's a real holiday, I realize that, but we celebrated it like it was the biggest thing in Mexico and Texas as an excuse really just to drink margaritas, I think.
Right.
One of my best friends growing up was Mexican American. His parents were Mexican, or at least Mexican American. The only thing that stuck in my mind from back in those days that like seemed very Mexican to me now is his family made menudo and offered it to me, and but then I feel like he used to
respectfully decline.
Yeah, I respectfully declined because he was telling me like, I don't know if you should try it, but they wanted to try it. So looking back, I kind of wish I would have, and I wish I would have taken the opportunity to get to know his family on a little bit deeper level. What is going to tell us a little bit about what we have learned.
Yeah, so that said, obviously we cannot tell you everything we've learned over the last year, but we have learned so much. We've been here just at a year now, and I feel like we have just such a newfound appreciation for a country and a life outside of the United States. Obviously, the United States is still very special to us. It's where we were raised and born, and it's where our family is. Anyways, thing number 1 that we've learned while living in Mexico is, like Greg said, all we hear about Mexico is what we hear on the news. Listen to the news, what they tell you is almost always false. All anybody's ever talking about is building a wall. Or in Hollywood, like in movies, TV shows, things like that. And I think after coming here, one of the first things we realized is this place looks nothing like what the movies make it look like. Just like the United States, you wouldn't go visit one city in the United States and decide that's what the United States looks like. However, that was all we saw before coming. So the second thing that we have noticed that is vastly different from anything we ever expected is that Tex-Mex is not Mexican food. And I think we knew this.
We knew it, but we didn't really know what that meant.
But if you asked us a year ago or last August when we were living in the United States, what is Mexican food? I think we might have said tacos, enchiladas, which is true, but I think for the most part, Mexican food is not unhealthy. And I think to me, Tex-Mex is always amazing, but it's rarely healthy. And I think in the States when we would go out for Tex-Mex, it would be like, we're going for Tex-Mex. We're all in for the stomach ache. We know what we're getting ourselves into. But now that we've had the opportunity to eat traditional Mexican food nearly every day, at least multiple times a week, I think we now fully understand the difference between Tex-Mex and Mexican.
Or at least we're starting to fully understand. This is a good time to point out, before we go to number 3, that there is still a ton that we have yet to learn about Mexico, and that we are by no means Mexico experts. We're just sharing a few things that we have learned thus far. Okay, well, what up? Number 3.
Number 3 is the history of Mexico. Obviously, like Greg said, I am no history buff. I paid attention in class, in history class, as little as possible. I looked at cute boys that looked just like Goyo and skated by. So I can't tell you the tiniest thing about history, but I can tell you that I definitely do not remember learning any Mexican history.
Yes, and I think really the major point I wanted to point out here is not any specific facts that we've learned about Mexican history, although we did make an entire video about Mexican Independence Day, and I learned a lot about that. And we're about to do some learning about Dia de los Muertos before we shoot some of those videos. But I think it's just that the history of Mexico, I can start to appreciate the culture of Mexico in learning, or through learning Mexican history. We're like huge, I don't know if we call ourselves foodies. We just like to eat food, and we like to try new food. And so every time we do that, not only do we learn about the food, but we also learn about the history behind that food. The history of Mexico is still a work in progress, but but
it's something that's interesting to us. I think it allows us personally and through our videos to find such a deeper appreciation for this country that we're basically just visitors in. To learn something, like you say, brings so much more meaning to why the taco that we're eating is the way it is and how it's influenced.
I'll give a relationship analogy here. It's kind of like it's kind of like dating, or when you first get in a relationship. Like you may really like the person, you may love the person, but until you really start to delve into the history of just that person's life, until you really get deep with that person, you can't really fully appreciate who that person is now. So I think we're starting to get to that point with Mexico. We obviously love Mexico, but there's so much more we have to learn before I think we can 100% fully appreciate everything it has to offer.
Before we can get married.
Yes.
The last thing on our list is obviously the people. Again, this sort of goes back to, I really had no expectations in terms of the people of Vallarta or Mexico in general. I think, again, all we had seen is what we see on the news in the United States and what's portrayed in movies, which we all know that things that are portrayed in movies, whether Mexican-based or not, are not oftentimes very far from reality. And I think that's true for the people. I can't specifically remember any movies I saw with Mexican people in them, but I can say that was one of the most shocking things, is that we have been so welcomed here. And I think the atmosphere of living here and passing the same people every day and visiting the markets in person and being able to go to a gym and work out and buying snow cones from the same guy every day and seeing the same beach vendors, all that is a sense of community that we've never felt. And I think it's something that used to possibly happen in the United States in our grandparents' or parents' generation, where you talk about sharing sugar with a neighbor. However, we never experienced that until coming here. And again, I think it allows us a such deeper appreciation for being visitors in this foreign place to us. So I think the people has been the biggest shocking factor, and the sheer kindness and just selflessness of everyone here that's been willing to help and welcome us.
Exactly. And I do want to say, it wasn't shocking to us that Mexicans are nice people. It's not like we came here expecting them to be rude. It was just shocking how nice they were. I think our expectations were like they would be just as nice as anybody back home to us in Dallas or Louisiana. But then I think it was like, so they went way above and beyond our expectations is kind of what we mean. So I just didn't want there to be any confusion about it.
Sure, and like in Dallas, if you pass a stranger on the street, you may or may not say hello, but here, at least in Vallarta, you say hello to like everyone, and
at least we do. I don't know. Maybe people think we're rude. Just to wrap this little section up, I think for us and for anybody, traveling is an important part of our have less, do more, be more campaign, motto, if you will. I think through traveling, we have had less stuff because we had to get rid of it to move here. We have done more because we had to get out of our comfort zone. We needed to learn the new language. We need to learn just how things work here in Mexico. So it's forced us to do more. And I don't know if it's forced us to be more or not, but it's given us the opportunity to be more, and especially through our videos, to be more. So I think whether it's through traveling or through whatever means you find, whatever means that you can make it happen, I think it's important to for us to relate this to our have less, do more, be more. Because I think everything we do or say, whether we talk about it in the videos or not, we have that in mind at all times.
Right.
Comment below, let us know what you have learned about Mexico, if you are possibly a US citizen or Canadian that travels here frequently, or if you're Mexican, maybe let us know some other things that we could learn, or if you're Mexican that has moved to the United States possibly, or has family in the United States, let us know an interesting thing about the United States that you have learned. Now, what's next?
Yesterday we asked you, is this next?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yesterday we asked you, we started a brand new segment and we called it Tell Us Something Tuesday.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk about a few of those things. So we'll be doing this every Tuesday, and yesterday's was Tell Us Something Funny.
The light came on when you did that.
Did it?
Yeah.
We have a ghost light.
Hashtag tell us something funny.
Yeah, be sure and use that hashtag going forward. We'll be doing this every Tuesday. So here we go. Here are our first responses.
Okay. Well, guys, for the first time, I think I'm a little disappointed in some of the comments. I think it's really my fault. I'm disappointed in myself. I should have asked a better question when I asked you to tell us something funny. I didn't really realize how hard that is. It's like asking, tell me a joke, or saying, tell me a joke. It's kind of hard to come up with on the spot, but we're going to read the ones you guys sent us anyways, because
Let's just say you guys performed. Underperformed.
What we got, Hill?
Okay, this is from Al Barris. She says, I smelt her. She said she took a shower, but I smelt her before she got in the car. Oh man, I just got it. I smelt her. Oh, that is really good.
All right, number 2, Francisco Tirado. I'm saying this one because it was underneath the thread for Tell Something Funny. I don't know if he was trying to be funny or not. Your girlfriend doesn't eat. Well, she doesn't eat that much. And she's my wife. Sorry, Francisco.
Boom! Deborah Haynes says, tell me something funny. I work for a Mexican chain restaurant, and out of all of them, I am the only gringo girl among all.
Do they at least give you free food sometimes?
Yeah, no kidding.
Rigo Riguez says, y'all should go to Russia for the World Cup.
Yeah, you guys help fund that, and we'll be right on it.
Yeah, no kidding. I had another funny one up here on Twitter. Bojangle Spa. Hashtag tell me something funny. My 10-year-old son lost his flip-flop in a wave half hour after arriving in PV.
Oh.
Hashtag afraid of water.
Oh, man.
And that just reminds me of the time that Hillary lost her sunglasses about half an hour into one of our vacations in the big wave. Yeah.
Oh man, it was Hawaii?
Yeah.
We had just gotten to Hawaii and we're like, oh wow, these waves are big, but I think we can do it. Boom! Yeah, I lost my sunglasses, but...
Well, that is our segment, our mini segment for today. Our idea going forward is that when we do our Tell Us Something Tuesday videos, or it's confusing. On Tuesday, when we say Tell Us Something Tuesday, it will be a different topic each time, and then on Wednesday, that entire video will be about your comments, whatever we ask, but we realize we have to ask the better questions to get better responses.
We do.
So we'll work on that. Be on the lookout for that next week. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let us know what else we need to learn about Mexico.
Keep the list long, because we want to stay.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the bell so you get notified
every time
we upload a new video, and we will see you when?
Mañana.
Adios.
Adios, amigos.